QPR tomorrow, Neil. They've started the season pretty well, haven't they? Or certainly did well at the weekend.
Yeah, I think they're one of the favourites of the other pack sort of thing outside the relegated teams. I was reading out, they've had a lot of change. They finished really well last season, and they've only improved the squad really. So yeah, it'd be a difficult game, especially with the problems that we've got. But we're looking forward to it. I think the lads are looking forward to it. Be another good crowd, and you've just got to play them. Other clubs will have injuries at certain times of the season, hopefully.
Now, normally you look at opposition teams, I imagine you start, for danger, you start with the front men. Well, with QPR, you've got to look at the other end, haven't you? Rob Dickey, he scored a cracker at the Riverside last season, and he's got 3 goals already. It's quite astonishing for a centre.
Well, that's what you've got to do. You've got to get your defenders getting goals if you're going to have a successful season when you're one of the other teams. That's what I had at Cardiff with Morrison, and that's what I want this season from our lads. You have to score more goals from other areas. So, having said that, I was delighted that we scored from a free kick the other day. It's something that we've got to do.
That's something obviously you talked about a lot last season, and so you've started in the right fashion in that sense. How much do you need Dale Fry and Grant Hall though to start chipping in at that? Because obviously it was your striker and he was playing like a number 10, wasn't he, at times, Matt Crooks, who were the ones who scored from the set piece.
Well, yeah, but it's like anything else. You tend to look at things like that when you're watching from the media. I have a dig at Craig with the local marks at times. Because he's, for example, Bowler and Dick Steele got average marks. Are you with me? But they won us the match. They stopped their best 2 players from playing. But you don't see that as a journalist. You just, you see that, he's not gone over the halfway line and put great crosses in as Bowler and Dick Steele. But what they don't see is how good they were, and they never give them a kick. And it's the same with other things. Now we've got these other lads, Grant and Dale, are taking people away and allowing Uchi to come into it and Crooksy to come into it. There's all, that's how that's how it is at the minute, and that's great for me.
How's Isaiah Jones? Has he been on a bit of a high the last few days after his performance?
Yeah, well, he's a level-headed lad. He was tired out. Obviously, we had to, really just look after him on Sunday and Monday. In a way, really, although I didn't really want a game on a Wednesday. I'm quite pleased it was Wednesday, if I'm honest. After Saturday, and it's just one of those weeks that we've just got to, we've got to get through and hope that we're lucky on the injury front, other than what we've already got.
And how about what you've already got? Is anyone fit to return? Is Tuber Akpom out of isolation?
He is, yes. I don't know whether he's actually going to train this morning. So I'll have a look at him this morning. I mean, if he's available, he'll be on the bench whether he's trained or not, because we didn't have much else. So, I'll have a look this morning on that.
And of the injured players, anybody back?
I wouldn't have thought so. They've not told me any good news. So I'm not imagining that any of those have got a chance.
Just one of your more long-term injured players, Marcus Brown. I just saw him knocking about on the touchline before kick-off on Saturday. I just wondered how's he doing? How far away is he from getting back into full training?
He's doing ever so well. He's training. I mean, it's hard work when you've got nothing at the end of the week, but he's training ever so well. I've had a few chats with him. He's very positive. I think it's about another probably four weeks before he can start on the grass. Maybe 5 weeks. I don't know, but roughly that sort of thing. But he's he's really working hard, doing whatever he can. With JT and that in the gymnasium and things like that, in the sandpit and all sorts of things.
So to possible reinforcements then, we've been reading a lot about Jake Bidwell, obviously with your left-sided problems over recent days. Is that something that you think might happen?
Well, I think I've just got to keep all my, whatever I can to myself, really, about the targets. I don't like talking about other players from other clubs. You get things mentioned, and quite rightly so. You have to ask the question, but Jake's a good player, But there's so many others that we're looking at as well in that area. If Bowler does get injured at the moment, we've lost all the left side lads as backup, so we do need somebody down that area. But I know Peltz can play there if I had to in a back 4, but not in a back 5. I won't want So we've just got to look at what there is available. and try and anticipate the sort of injuries that we had last year that really killed us.
And you were teasing the fans with the mention of this mystery foreign striker who apparently you've been texting recently. Any news there? Any closer to signing?
Not really. It's all what do they call it now? All office work now, all papers and that's that we've got to deal with. It's not. I mean, I don't think we can do any more to try and get the lad to come. It's just a matter of whether we can agree with the clubs and everything.
And just lastly, obviously it was a huge high, wasn't it? The whole occasion on Saturday. How important is it that you can, as players and as a playing squad, build on that tomorrow? Because the newness has gone, hasn't it, for the fans? It's almost back to normal in a sense.
I don't think it will be this season. I think we'll be surprised every home game with the fans. I don't see it getting back to normal. All I ask is, I think the fans know that whatever happens on Wednesday, everybody will be giving everything, and that's all you can ask, really. On the night, you've got to hope that you've got a little bit more than the opposition. I don't think we're feeling sorry for ourselves because we've lost a couple of good players. We've just got on with it, really, and we try and put other players in positions we think we can actually get a result. And that's what we'll be doing on Wednesday. Against a good side. I know Mark's he's been there a couple of years now, hasn't he? And he's moulded a very good side.
Okay, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
James from Sky.
James from Sky. Where's James then?
I'm here.
Oh, sorry, James, got you up there. Sorry.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Right. I guess just a little bit on Mark's last question, really, just a bit of reflection on the game on Saturday, but mainly the fact there was 22,000 in the Riverside. How great is it to see the fans back in the stadium?
Yeah, it was amazing on Saturday. I expected it to be good, but I didn't think it would be that good. You forget. I mean, I don't know how many months I've been here without a crowd. It must be over a year, isn't it now? So it's so you just forget what it's like. You're that used to the echo around the stadium when you shout a name and things like that. You forget the adrenaline that it gets and the extra that it gives the players when they're chanting the names. And I think you've only got to look at Uchi up front. When they took to him on Saturday, it lifted his game, and him and Matt, and I thought they did ever so well. And you put that down to the fans. There's no way me shouting on could have lifted them any more than normal. But the fans can just get that extra yard out of them and that extra determination, which Crooksy needed for the winner.
How important do you think that will be, not just for Wednesday night, but for the whole season, the atmosphere at the Riverside?
Well, I think not just the whole season at the Riverside. I think we saw at Fulham the difference that they make. They kept us in the game at Fulham, really, and then at the end almost won it. They almost won the game for us. So away from home is going to be just as important. And I think I think we'll get more than normal away from home now because they've had so long away. They want to see every game now, and they've obviously got the voice boxes all right. So I'm looking forward to it. It's great for the players and myself.
Now, I feel kind of bad saying this now, slightly a negative having the fans back, but we saw some figures released by the Premier League yesterday that the cases of the COVID cases of players have actually doubled this week. Is there a concern that these levels are rising, and do you think that might be an impact due to the fact the stadiums are full, crowds are not wearing masks anymore?
Not really. I think obviously it's important everybody has 2 injections if they can. To solve that, we're doing tests this morning on some of the players, and only the ones that haven't had 2 injections. I just can't see the logic in not having them. So, to me, you're talking to me, you're going to get the same answers as you had last week and the week before. I just think it's ludicrous that we can't have 2 injections. There's that much. I think people like putting negative things out in the media. They've all got these Twitters and whatever they call them. I call them something else, and they all seem to believe everything that they read. It's a good job they're not in my position. If I'd believed everything I read.
Are you concerned though still that regardless of maybe players having the vaccinations, are you still concerned? And obviously, COVID's not going away, and that there still could be some disruption to your season.
Oh, I think there'll be some disruption from the season. We had Tuba last week caught it. Leo's had it. He's just coming back. I think he's on the training ground today. He's had it, I think, twice, in the last 3 weeks. Or he had it, then he thought he hadn't got it, then he's got it again. And, he's been talking about players. He was over in Portugal and Spain, everywhere. But, it does worry you, because if we lost 2 or 3 players with it now, we'd be in a right situation with the lads that are injured as well. So I just don't see the logic, and we are trying to get the lads to have injections. If I'm honest, the vaccinations.
Most players had the vaccination?
No, I did say that a few weeks ago. I think that the majority of players haven't had it. No. And
do you think that will change at all, or is that just from speaking to them, is that a personal choice?
I've no idea. Obviously, it's a personal choice, yeah. I don't know where they're getting their advice from, like I say, but I think it's the wrong advice. It's not just for themselves. It's what they could do to other people if they have it. They don't realise the importance. 1 or 2 lads will be going home this weekend because we've not had a weekend, a midweek spare. So who's to say they don't go down to London and see the grandparents or what have you, and if they've caught it or what have you. I just think it's irresponsible, but that's how I am.
Okay, moving away from COVID, there was a really special moment on the weekend when you brought on Sol Bamba. Now, after everything that he's gone through this past year and what he's had to battle to overcome, that must be a really special moment for you to bring him on, and also for Sol himself. I guess my question is just, how inspirational is Sol as a person? Not necessarily on the field, but off the field.
Everywhere. He's an unbelievable character. But let me make it clear: I've not brought Sol on as something as a favour to him or anything like. I've never seen him work as hard. He came back in pre-season. I just couldn't believe it. I never thought I'd be giving him a contract. I thought we might offer him a role with the under-23s, which would help him get on his coaching, because he's he's a decent coach and a good person to have around the 23s, 18-year-olds. But when I saw him in training, within probably 10 days, I said to Kevin and Ron, I can't believe what I'm seeing here. I said let's have a look now at Rotherham, and it didn't surprise me at all. Head and shoulders above anybody else at Rotherham. So, to do what he's done, takes some doing, at his age. It takes some guts and after what he's been through. But all the credit, when I went on the pitch at the end, I just said to him, you thoroughly deserve that, son, and well done after what you've been through.
That's fantastic to see. Look, final one from me. QPR tomorrow, I know you're talking about them before being potentially one of the favourites of the other group to get promotion, but for you personally, going up against a team that you've managed previously, is there anything like an extra motivation, extra pressure? Is there more of an emotional connection in these games?
Not really. When I was stood there last year, when they beat us 1-0, no, not really. I wasn't thinking anything other than trying to beat them. The only thing is, it'll be a nice game where I get applause from everywhere, rather than just our fans. Because the QPR fans will remember, everywhere I go, I keep getting QPR fans telling me about that season that we had, which was truly remarkable, I must say. One of the best things I've ever done, and it's just a great club. I really love the club and the fans down there. We had a great time. So yeah, there'll be moments like that, but I want to beat them as much as I can.
All right, thanks a lot, Neil. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Emily from Town Tees.
Sorry,
Emily.
Hey Neil, how you doing?
Hi darling, all right. Emily, what about this television thing? When am I going to get my TV picture back on?
Well, we've got some back now, but I think it's going to be 2 weeks till I can get it properly back on.
Right, I tried for a bloody hour. I didn't even realise last night. Pressing all these redoing and everything. So
Sorry about that.
All right, love, carry on.
So debut goals at the weekend from Ikpeazu and Crooks. How much of a promising start is that, and a sign of what's to come this season from two of your summer signings?
Well, the thing about the two that you mentioned is typical. That they're just good lads. They try their hardest. Uch is not easy on the eye, but once the fans get behind him like they did on Saturday, anything's possible with him. It's lovely to be loved. He's that type of lad. He's a fantastic person, and if anybody deserves to do well, he's never, he's not one who never talked about money or anything like that. He's just wanted to come and play football and show me what a good player he could be, and repay the faith that I've got in him, and that's what he's doing. I said to him, don't put too much on yourself, because it's a big step, but I think he's enjoying every minute. And yeah, he will have games where he's off his game, but I wouldn't want to play against him, if I'm honest. I wouldn't want to be marking him.
And looking ahead to your next game, QPR is one of your real success stories. Obviously, they beat us last time, but is there a hope that the lads knowing what you did there could bring that little bit of extra push and a bit of inspiration for them as they head into the next game?
Well, the lads know what I felt. During pre-season, I thought, as I said to them then, if I can get a few players in what I want, I don't see any reason why we don't go everywhere this season. I think the fans can go everywhere thinking that we can win. I know we'll get beat here and there, but I don't see any reason. I think when you look at our team, I think we play some good football at times. They'll probably not get recognised for that, with it being me as a manager. But I think I've enjoyed watching us, me, and to see people like Isaiah come through and help us out when we've had big injuries. It's just been great, and that's because of the way the lads took him in when we went to Cornwall, etc. Made him feel important, and Jeremy and Josh. These lads are in our squad now, and that's why when they come on, they're not bothered, they're not phased. These kids that nowadays, they no nerves or anything.